Hi, this is Majinoni, and welcome to another edition of The Good and the Bad and the Disappointing. I have a brand new the good book today. Thought I would never see this on the list, but here it is. Injustice, The Gods Among Us, Year 2, number 11. Now, for the most part, I was just like going, okay, this is kind of cool. You got some nice action. You have, yellow lanterns just getting killed. You have Superman going crazy, and I'm all for all of that. But then what really got to me was the end of this book. See, basically what happens is, I won't spoil anything for those of you who might want to read this, but it basically comes down to a standoff between Yellow Canary and Superman, and then, well, yes, it is a standard ending that Green Lantern always seems to love to use, but it just made this whole book end at a wow, this is really going to now escalate to something even bigger, and I really wonder how they're going to bring Superman down. And overall, I really enjoyed it. It's not for everybody because it's kind of like a weird Elseworlds what if type storyline, but I like what they're doing here. They're killing characters, they're taking chances, and so far I guess you could say it's like a breath of fresh air in the midst of everything that's going on because it's in its own universe. But again, like I said, I can see where some people are going to be like, that's not the way these characters would really work, and I don't like seeing Superman play the bad guy and stuff like that. So I get that. But anyways, I really enjoyed it. Now for the bad. You don't understand the pain that I had in reading this. And technically, this should also be my disappointment, too, because I dropped the book. What other books am I going to bitch about was bad when this book comes around? This was the biggest piece of turd that I have seen in a long time. These people should be embarrassed for taking a paycheck from Marvel. They should take their money and give it right back to Marvel, because this is a disgrace. First of all, let's talk about horrible art. This is the type of art where it's kind of just like, we can't draw backgrounds. We could barely draw faces. I mean, I'm glad that we can at least recognize who some of these characters are. Maybe not all, but, it helps. And let's talk about a colorist who only has a certain, color palette that they use. Now, you can argue, well, that's maybe their style, so you should just lay off. And I'm like, well, with Photoshop, you have thousands upon millions of colors to use. So why not branch out and maybe use 5 more? Because this book is pretty pathetic. This is really, really bad. Not only, now, as you can see, the basic story is, there's some little group discussion like, what do we do? We're the Ultimates. Oh, we could have lost it. What we want to do? J. Jonah Jameson's going to owe me a favor, and I don't know what to do. And then we get the supervillains attack, so they obviously have to fight them in the streets. Now, let's talk about what type of superhero runs like that. Okay, runs like this. This is like, are you kidding me? And look at this punch. I mean, my God, she was trained by S12. She's punching like a girl. All right, now, granted, she's a girl, but she's trained by S12. And then you have Peter Parker, who's getting choked from behind, teleports, so now he's in front so he can shoot webbing. And you have Kitty Pryde, who suddenly can't turn intangible. And then it gets me, where you have now this looks like Cloak, who's now shooting energy beams. I'm done. I am so done with this book. This book it's kind of like I said, I'm telling you, just imagine, Marvel doesn't care who puts this book out. They just grabbed a team of people who have no business working on a comic book at all. Not even a web book, a web series. They deserve to put their pencils down, put their typewriters, their word processors, their all that other nonsense away, because They suck. This book is horrible. This book is the reason why the Ultimates is going to fail. Horrible. Disappointing. That's New Warriors. I guess you kind of saw this one coming. Now here's the deal. There's two parts to this book. One part is Spider-Man wanting to leave and Justice trying to convince him to stay. The second part is them fighting this giant teddy bearish mascot creature, which instantly reminded me of Ghostbusters. And with the Ghostbusters anniversary coming, like now, it kind of makes me wonder, geez, do you have an original bone in your body? Now, parts of this was entertaining, watching this giant teddy bear thing fight the heroes. So I'll give them a couple points for that. But what's really disappointing is this. You have basically sub-average artwork. And again, you have somebody who has problems. I mean, they can draw some buildings, but, a lot of the other backgrounds are kind of blah. Very linear, no depth to it. And I guess for me, the disappointment came in twofold. One is when we get to see what's inside the mascot, that was like, okay, you really were trying to be funny, kind of failed. I get that. And the second part of the failure is, it's basically, Spider-Man wants to leave. And Justice keeps going, hey, come on. Join us. You have a cop going, come on, I know you're not really going to leave us. You're a hero type nonsense. And then he's just like, oh, I'm leaving. And of course, he comes back at the end. And then you give Justice giving him the, you need friends to surround you, to be heroic, and all this, wow, power friendship. And see, the thing is, alright, this might sound a little bit hypocritical, but like in manga, you hear that surround yourself friends, never abandon friends. You hear that like 1,000 times a month. And when I kind of hear it in the New Warriors, while it makes sense in what's going on in the scene, to me it was just kind of like almost insincere-ish, and also in the sense that while I've heard the message so many times, the message by now is kind of diluted, and there's not enough fluff behind it to have a true impact to the words that Justice is saying. So, that's my issue with this. And, this book probably could have been a lot better overall, but I don't know. There's just some overall failures. And I don't know if it's the characters, I don't know if it's the writing, I don't know if it's the direction that they took, but the New Warriors is, I'm just glad I'm getting rid of it, and I know it's being canceled. At least that's what I heard. Deserves to be canceled. Anyways, that is my good, the bad, and the disappointing. Like and share. Let me know what your good, disappointing, bad books are. And we got some Facebook Crunchyroll anime reviews over there. And more reviews later. So until next time.